Welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll recap the Anchorbone Classic. We'll talk Bulldog hockey as they played a pair of home games this past weekend, and we'll check in with Ferris State Soccer after a big weekend on the road. Start first, though, with Bulldog Football, joined by Coach Tony Annese. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob.
I know, obviously, disappointed, I'm sure, in the outcome of this past Saturday's game, but certainly a great game between two great programs here on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought game. You know, both teams played really, really hard, and it's just you know, it's the reality of the world. You know, like USC, you know, probably frustrated they lost to Utah. Alabama probably frustrated they lost to Tennessee, and we're frustrated that we had a one-point loss to Grand Valley. And it's not that it's just Grand Valley; it's just that you know, you just don't want to lose. And so I'm proud of our guys. We fought really hard. You know, it's the first time I had to face a team. We meet every Sunday after a game, win or lose, and it's the first time I've had to face a team on a Sunday after a loss in over 5 years. Because the other losses were either playoff losses, I guess just playoff losses, and the season ended. So yeah, it was challenging yesterday to see him on a Sunday for sure, and face him, but we're ready to move forward.
Obviously, before we get into the game highlights, outstanding crowd, record crowd, and maybe talk about the fans that were on hand.
Unbelievable crowd. You know, I don't know what goes on out there beyond the field, but I thought both teams supported or both fan bases supported their team really well, and that's great to see. You know, it's you know, getting that many people in, over 12,000 people, and breaking a record. You know, I went to a game at Ferris State in 2011 when I was coaching at Grand Rapids Community College, and I think there were like 700 people. So really proud that we've kind of brought so much attention to Ferris State University.
Obviously, Grand Valley comes out, scores on their opening drive, and you come back here offensively on your first series, and then we'll see you eventually get the tying touchdown here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's an interesting game in regards to that. You know, sometimes the offenses look great, and sometimes the offenses look somewhat incompetent. And it just is one of those things, you know, like we had really, you know, spurts of real greatness on offense, and then they did the same, but like in the third quarter, their offense, you know, really struggled. In the fourth quarter, they totally dominated. So here, Marcus catches one. We catch him in a zero blitz, and you know, we wanted to do that. Malik's kind of a gunslinger and can get the ball really quickly, and we made a lot of plays early in this game. Unfortunately, in the first half, we only had 22 snaps of offense, and so that kind of cost our defense, wore them down a little bit.
How challenging was it, maybe for both offenses, facing two really good defenses here in this game?
Yeah, I think it's challenging for both teams, and both, you know, both of us are really, you know, pretty well balanced in regards to, statistically, we're very similar. But I think there was just a lot of challenges in the game, just defending all the things that both teams could bring to the opponent.
Here, Marcus Taylor gets into the end zone. You get a 14-10 lead here in the second quarter that holds up for halftime, and he made a couple big plays for you.
Yeah, he's electric. You know, we got some electric players. You know, we're still a work of progress of the O-line. I knew that going into the season, and you know, our D-line really has been dominant, and they really exposed some things on our D-line. We've got some injuries there, and not to make any excuses, but their O-line is really strong as well, so they took advantage of some stuff on us.
Here in the third quarter, trying to move the football here against Grand Valley State, and eventually we'll see a big interception from Sidney McLeod coming up here shortly.
Yeah, Sidney played great. That receiver, I was very impressed with him going into the game, and we took Sidney on him most of the time, and Sidney did a really nice job, and it led to a touchdown here, and you know, Carson goes in here on this next play, and we're ahead 21-10 with very very little time left in the third quarter.
Obviously, Malik Mitchell back in uniform. Maybe talk about his play after missing the last month or so of the season.
It was good. It was, you know, anybody would say, well, he's going to have a little rust, right? And I thought for the most part he played really well. I thought that he handling stuff really well. They're a risk reward defense, you know, so they take risks and then they get rewards. Well, when you're playing offense against them, then you got to be a risk reward offense. So they're going to make you look bad times, but we took our shots and we made a lot of plays.
Obviously, here in the fourth quarter now, Grand Valley pulls within a score here as they get the touchdown drive, and then you come back offensively, not able to move the ball, and gives them another opportunity.
Yeah, you know, we had some chances, and we didn't make the plays on offense when we needed to, and then, you know, they end up here. You know, this is an 85-yard drive, five rushes for 85 yards to end up being the eventual, you know, go-ahead touchdown, and you know, that's a little shocking for all of us. Like, our defense has been pretty stout against the run, so give them credit again. You know, this team came here and fought us to the bitter end, and we fought them to the bitter end a lot too, and we've had our you know, bitter end. They've had their bitter end losses. We've had the end wins, and they just got the best of us on this day.
Obviously, now you move forward. Another big matchup this Saturday at home against Michigan Tech.
Yeah, you know, excited about that now. Just, you know, our guys are going to be hungry to go to the practice field, and you know, truthfully, sadly, but truthfully, you know, most of your deficiencies are exposed after a loss. You know, it was fun last year when we were 14-0, and not a deficiency was necessarily exposed where we didn't feel bad about it, even though we try to critique it in a fair way. But it's really exposed when you lose. And so hopefully we, you know, like I said to the kids yesterday, come with the mindset of how you're going to get better. You know, like, how are you going to be more accountable? I'm doing the same thing. I'm critiquing what I'm doing. What do I need to do better? What does my staff need to do better? And what does every individual on the team need to do better for us just to be a better team? And hopefully this helps us in the long run.
Obviously, this Saturday facing Michigan Tech, a team that has won its last two games, and a lot going on in conjunction with Football Alumni Day, a chance to honor former Bulldog and Jason Vanderlaan.
Yeah, Tech is, you know, they're playing better ball. They had some inexperience early, but they're playing better ball. And yeah, there's one human being that I think is, you know, the best football player to ever play college football at Ferris State University, and that's Jason Vanderlaan. You know, leading rusher in the history of college football for quarterbacks, and he was just such a huge force. But also he was a Scholar Athlete of the Year for all of D2 for 2 years, and so yeah, we're retiring his jersey on Saturday. It's number 15. Xavier's worn it for 4 years, and now Xavier hopefully gets a medical red shirt off this year's injury, so he might have to wear it next year, but then I promise it'll be done, and it'll be hanging just outside my office, and we'll give also Jason something, a present for him to take home, and he'll have that where he can hang that in his house.
Well, Coach, looking forward to it on Saturday, kickoff 1 o'clock, and best of luck against Michigan Tech.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.